Good morning, everyone. How was your Friday? Sorry to be late. I finally got the camera to switch the orientation between vertical and horizontal. So hopefully you are seeing a little bit more of the area and I am not upside down. So give me a thumbs up if that's the case. Sorry to be late, but I was trying to figure that out. And then I started the live and it said it couldn't start the live. There was an issue, a problem. So I had to go in and out, in and out, in and out about 12 times. And hopefully now we are live, although I don't see anything moving. Hopefully you can hear me. And hopefully you're having a great Friday. Okay, I see that we are live. I just don't have a countdown. Okay. All right. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about this set today, the thin cut buildable tags. Okay, Z4106. Run, do not walk. You need this set. Okay. So I'm taking these two pieces today, and this is all thanks to Janice, and I hope I don't mess up her name. She's either a Kiwi or from Australia. I think it's Gilhooley. So hopefully I didn't break that up. Okay. So I'm using these two pieces, but you could, and I also used this piece here. So what you want to do is you want to stack these together. So they cut out, I think I did it this way. So they cut out at the same time. And here's my suggestion. First thing you want to do is go punch out a bunch of just the frame. See how I'm not straight? It's very difficult to get it back straight. So punch your regular tags out, such as this, just the tag without this insert. And then you want to go and punch out, or thin cut, about, I'd say give yourself 10. Some of them, this one here, I stuck 4 together, and that's okay if you're just doing something, shaker window that you want small. Oh, and let me back up. This is in case you don't want to do the normal, or you have difficulty doing the normal shaker cards with the foam tape, because it can be a little bit unruly, but I do have some tips for that, and maybe next weekend or next Friday I will show you a video on how to put those together. But for now, this was really cool, and I'm so happy that Janice posted, and so I wanted to kind of do something a little bit different than what she did, just to add my twist to it. So I punched out, again, I used this square and this one here, taped them together and cut out a bunch and glued them together. Now this glue that we have here, the liquid glue, is fine, but when I go, and like she said, when you're going to put acetate or what I'm using, which I'll tell you in a minute, use the liquid glass for the plastic clear part, okay? All right, so we've got those together. We did our regular frames. To give yourself 2 or 3 of them in case you mess up like I did. And then put it together and punch out at least 10, or at least 10, maybe 12. Okay, so if you're just going to do something small, I think 4 is enough of a thickness, and hopefully you can see that that's a little bit thicker than just a sheet of paper. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, and then when you get to 10 layers, or 5 layers like this one, you can see that it's quite a bit thicker. How's that look? There we go. Okay, so we're just building the shaker element without the foam tape. Okay, so I stuck all those together, and you can use liquid glass for that part too if you want. All right, so then get this out of the way, and this, and here's another tip. This little piece on this piece of washi that I can't hold on to is the little top tag that covers over that. And I put it on a piece of washi so that way I can tape it down so I don't lose it. So if you have small little pieces, put a little piece of washi tape on. One, it holds it on your mat when you're cutting so you can cut out exactly what you want or where you want. And two, you can put that little sticky washi into your you know, little magnetic piece here, and you won't lose any little pieces. I would do that for any little pieces that you have. Okay, so how did I get this little piece of window plastic on here? If you don't have any of the shaker elements that would give you that acetate, or you don't have any acetate, the next best thing, cut up a sheet protector, which is what I did here. Just cut up a sheet protector, okay? And this was actually just a 4x6, two 4x6s. So it was 12 by a little bit more than 4. And I just cut it down the middle where you would slide them in, and I just started cutting it up. So if you cut up one and you do it this way, vertical, for your longest length, then you can get at least 2 out of here, which means because it's doubled, you have 4. And I believe it was, let's see, it's about 2.5 by about 3 3/4 is what, oh, and I just lost the light. I was afraid of that. Okay, so I'm gonna bring down a little bit more light, but it's going to be hopefully not too bad of a glare. I was afraid of that. I didn't plug my lights in to recharge them, so let's see if we can do this real quick. Did that get unplugged? Let's try that again. Sorry, hold on just a sec. Technical difficulties, that's how it is. There we go. We weren't plugged in. Clear back at the outlet. All right, there we go. Back in business. All right, so I wanted to show you just gluing this piece on. Okay, so this has a natural curve of the inside and the outside. I like to turn it to where it lays the most flat. So I put that curve that goes this way down. And I can get that piece off of there. Oh, that one's already on there. Duh. Alright, let's put it on something we don't have it on. Okay, so those two pieces are already ready to go. This piece. So we're going to take our liquid glass, make sure I'm up high enough, and I want to go on the inside and make sure that you get a nice, even all the way around, and you can just kind of dot it in between here, because as long as your outside's okay, the inside doesn't matter so much. And this will give you a little bit of wiggle room. Clean it off if you need to. Set this down. And then what I like to do, pick something heavy, put on it. And the other thing I like to do with your liquid glass is make sure that you burp it. I don't know if you can hear that going back in. So make sure that that it's clear. In other words, it's not blocked with stuff that's going to dry in there. Okay, so we got that going. All right, where's my one with 10? Okay, here's my one with 5. And I think if you're going to use 5, I think is fine for stuff like the little white beads, seed beads, these little sequin stars, or even just our normal sequins. I think that that's enough. And what I did was I put that down. I put this down on here. I threw a few in. Okay. And they will stick everywhere. And I'm just going to use one that I already have a window on. I set it all, sandwich it all together. This is just my preview. And make sure that it shakes. And that does shake. And you can hold it down even tighter. That shakes well. Okay, so then you know if you need to add another layer or not. Try and get all these back into the box. If they will play nice. There we go. Okay? Alright. So, I put an extra one on this stack, 6 high, because I wanted to use these pretty little diamonds that we have. Okay? And let's get those out of the way. Alright, so for that, I wanted to show you this part first. Alright. So I took my white tag. Make sure that you use the clean, nice side to be your bottom. And then put your pattern paper on. Glue that on, right? And then I told you you get these little, these are what you punch out when for the little hole opening. So then this is the nice part with the little hole opening. This is my pattern paper that's going to show through. This is my top layer with my window plastic, and I put that on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this together. We still have room to write our note. It's on the nice side. So far, are you with me? Explain that again. I have a piece of white, daisy white, punched out in the tag, a piece of pattern paper that I glued together, making sure that the nice side is on the back, not the yucky side. Then I put the little tag circle in that. I have my 6 layers of that. We're going to glue that down in a second. I've got my window plastic on the back, and I've got my little tag on the front. So it's going to go together like so. Alright? Alright, let's glue that down. So since you're just gluing, you can use, like I said, the mono adhesive. And I am going to give it a good amount because I don't want anything getting underneath my glue. I'm going to take the time to, hopefully you can see me, glue all of this. Okay. I always like to put the lid on because it'll leak a little bit. That's plenty dry. And the good thing about using the liquid glue is you have a little bit of time. It's probably easier to do it this way. You have a little bit of wiggle room time to put this together. Turn it over. Make sure we're all nice and straight as we can be. And we will put something down on that again. Okay, so here's what I was saying. Here is the yucky side, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of, from thin cutting it, there's a little bit of yucky up there. And this is the smoother, nicer side. So I glued these two together. This is going to be the inside under my window. And this is the back. You glue that little piece onto there. And you would glue this one onto here. To the front of there. Okay? And then in between those, we put our chunk of plastic. Okay? And I'll build this one later today. And I'll put it in down below what I come up with. Okay? Alright. So that should be fairly secure. Now we are going to add our pretties. And you don't need a whole lot. And a spoon works really good to do this too. We just want enough that they shake. Make a nice sound. And you can see that I'm not really putting any in these two, and that's because I have a little pretty here that I colored. And the markers I used for this little guy, let me pull him up so you can see him. Give you a still shot. There you go. Pull him over here maybe. You can, no. And the colors I used for this one were the, pull my light up a little bit closer. Sorry for the jiggling. Oh, there we go. Ice Gray Blend, Lavender Blend, use the light one. Hydrangea Blend, I also use the light one. So if you turn them over, I don't know if you guys ever notice that the dark side has a darker color to it than the light side. Look at how different that is. So I used all of the lights, and then on the fox I did use this Ice Gray Blend, the medium on. So I used the light here and the medium here, and I outlined it in the dark, which kind of just blended in. Okay, so for the scarf, I did the Lavender Blend in light and the Hydrangea Blend in light, and you can see that gave me quite a bit of contrast. I could have just used, you know, light and dark or light and medium, but I just wanted a little bit closer to this purpley color that's in the paper. So that's what I did. And then I took our number 5. Now we get 3 of these in a package, 5, 8, and 10 for the size. And I just added this little 3 dots there. I added a little line there and just a couple of lines on the dark ones. And the trick with these is once it gets going, the lighter the pressure, the better the line will look. If you push down too much, it kind of indents in the middle, and it'll just give you a little line on top and a little line on the bottom. It kind of looks like 2 lines. So if you're getting 2 lines or a blank spot in the middle, it means you're doing it a little too hard. So do it lightly, and you'll get this nice light. Hopefully you can see that. I'll take a still shot of it. That nice light line and the little polka dots. Okay. So because we're going to glue this little guy, oops, I got a loose sequin, onto here, and because this is a tag, we don't have to worry about, and I think I will put it just a couple in that bottom one, and a couple, 3 in there. But because we're going to be gluing this onto this little bit of acetate and the paper, I want to make sure that I use the liquid glass again to adhere that. And nobody's going to see underneath of it. And because it's a tag, we don't have to stay like within the circle. We can put this like right on this edge, which is I think where I want to put it. So I'm just going to stay away from the one side and glue. Come on, glue. Glue this other side. Okay. There we go. Now we're coming out. So again, I'm going to kind of burp it. I'm going to take that care of that in a second. Alright. Everything's moving around on me today. Put the little guy down where you want, and I got some glue there, so I'm just going to make sure that it's dry. Push in the window there. There's a little guy on top. We got all of these down, so now we just need to glue this. So we're going to go around the outside. Draw a line there, glue, because we want that to stay within that circle, and then we can do this topper part. Okay. Alright, here goes nothing. Somebody breathe for me. And like I said, you still have a little bit of wiggle room, and this one will kind of hide all the other things you need to hide. And so does the little guy hanging over. Move that out, move it over just a smidge. Okay, now I would probably still give it a second to let that get nice and flat. And while we do that, if you can't get it to burp, use your piercing tool and gently push in there. Whoa, I got bubbles out of it. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So now we are barely burped. There I was. Okay, so I can put my lid on and don't forget to wipe off your tip of that. Alright. So while that's drying, I wanted to show you another little one that I did. So I took this little one and think about what you have. Look at those little teeny tiny stars. And I'm going to put something on here. I was just kind of playing, and you know me, I get an idea and then I'm like, oh, at the last second I get another one. So there's a little bit of paper in between on the back of this tag, and then I just go and find what you have for thin cuts that's small enough to fit there. And this is an old star pack that had like 4 stars. The reason why this star is on there is because there was a booger there. So I just took one of the stars I punched out, colored it red, and put it on. Now I'll put some words or some flower or something on here and put a little ribbon, and we're good to go. Alright, let's see how we're doing. Oh, listen to that. Sorry, I don't mean to make you dizzy, but look at that. Isn't that cool? It's so fun. And you didn't have to worry about all of the foam tape. The foam tape is great, don't get me wrong, but the foam tape doesn't quite give you enough space to put in these pretty little diamonds. And I did figure out a way around that. Just add another layer of circles, couple of circles to the base, and then put your foam tape and your top layer with your acetate, and then you've got enough room. So it's kind of like this concept. Now, what else can we do with this? And where's my other piece? Here's my other piece. All right. Oh, and another tip. If you had put this together already and you weren't quite done punching them out, you know, you couldn't stop, you can always go and get this guy and it will fit behind here too. Now it won't look quite as nice because it doesn't have the top part, but hey, in a pinch, that would work. Especially like if you're going on just the front of a card and you don't want to take this layer apart. If you're going to add that to the front of a card, that's not going to be a problem. You can always stick a bow across there to cover that part up. Okay? So just another alternative if you happen to do what I did. Alright, so we still have this piece here. And here is my base for that. Now, like I said, you can put anything in here. You could put this across here. We could stamp Merry Christmas in there and then put some beads in there, and that would be really cute. Let's see if I have my Merry Christmas close at hand with some red. Hold on just a sec. Oh, one more thing I want to show you before we do that is this pattern paper. So you could go and cut out exactly what you want to see in the background. The mountains with the tree and the deer. Wouldn't that be cute? Look at that. Or maybe you want to focus on a tree or the kids playing. So you can take any of these pattern papers, or maybe you wanted the little church one. Isn't that sweet? So you can go in and just draw a line around and cut it out. Okay? Let me see if I have, what's I looking for? Oh, Merry Christmas. Where's Merry Christmas? Sorry, guys. Oh, well, okay. Didn't find it super quick, but I pulled out some old stuff. So let's just use this. This says Merry Christmas. Be very gentle, pulling stuff off. I like to line up my images before I add them to the block. And then I oftentimes will put the line on a line so I am completely straight. I've got my red right here and some green. Sorry, impromptu here. I'm not even going to show you what this one is because I don't know if you can get it or not. I'll look it up, and if you can get it, then I will put it to where you guys can see what it is. I'll give you the number and stuff. Alright, so all we have to do is check out that it'll fit. Yes, it will. And I want to kind of put this in the middle. And I always like to line up what I'm doing. That is the back side. Okay, well, we'll go with it. Let me ink that up one more time. Just because it's in line, I didn't want it to dry. And we'll put Merry Christmas right about there. Okay. And then we're going to take this off the block. And I noticed that this particular line, being very gentle, I'm just peeling it rather than pulling it so we don't rip anything. You know, stamps are kind of like us. They don't like to be too hot, too cold. They get old, so be gentle with them. Then I'm going to line up these set of pretty little Christmas trees. I know you guys are like, oh, I want that set. I'm sorry. Like I said, I will look and see if it's available. And if not, maybe on a UFO day, you can come and get into my computer now. Wow. Okay, my computer just died. Great, so I don't know if I'm staying where I need to be. So I'll just push everything up. And there's a little bit of extra ink along the top. So I'll make sure I get rid of that. It's usually fine, but I just want to be sure. And then I can line those up like so. Alright? Alright. Now what are we going to do? Let me put this away. If you leave them on the blocks, they sometimes can kind of stick to the block pretty well and not come off as easily. So take them off of the block right away. Okay? Alright, so we've got that there. And that's going to be real pretty. Could have came up a little bit more on the trees, but you know, we're improvising here. Alright, so let's glue this to the back. Sure that we get everything straight. I don't know if I got enough. I did not get any glue on there. What happened to my glue? Oh, there's a little yucky in it. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Now we're getting glue. That was a test run. No glue. Who knew? Alright, now we have glue on there. Wow, it's pressing so light that it looked like I had glue. Who knew? Alright. Now we have glue. Lightly put that down. Make sure we're as straight as we can be. Sorry. Okay. I don't like to use my ink pad in case it's yucky, especially on white. So I'm going to do that. Now, the other thing that Janice showed is you can put a little figure or something and glue it to this, so then it's kind of in between the base in the other. Which another little star would be kind of cute. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go get one. Alright. So, got a little star. And I got the dark red blend. This is candy apple, so I'm not going to use dark like I did on this one. I'm going to use the light side. And I just went around the edges, colored in the top. That's basically all there is to it. I'm gonna get your fingers inky. I think the main thing is just try something. You never know what it's going to look like or what you could come up with. You could come up with a fabulous idea. And then you'll have to share it with everybody. And you can be the teacher. Okay, just about done. Sorry. Next thing I got to learn is how to edit so I could fast speed. Go a little faster through this. Alright, there's our little star. Make sure that you snap your caps back together. You can sometimes put them together, think they're together, but you want to hear that snap so they don't dry out. Okay, so what we are going to do is figure out where I want this. Alright, so I got that there. I think that would be kind of pretty. Or you could even have that shaking around. How would that be? Would that be kind of cool to shake around in there? Or do we want it to be kind of like right there? Okay, so turn this over. I'm going to line these up. So I kind of make sure that I get it where I want it. Alright. A little bit right here. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Got that on there. That one kind of cute there. Oops. Ooh, the whole thing's coming apart. That's not good. Well, I think we need to be adding a little more glue on here. Maybe it was the same as before. I didn't see that I didn't have glue on the back of this. Some of it did. Alright, so now we got to put our bits in first. Let's put some of these little seeds in there. Let's see. Don't know. I don't think those are gonna. Okay, what I'm looking at is I slid them all this way because they're not quite enough to slide in there. So I'm gonna take those out, and we're gonna add some of these because I know these are flatter. Ugh, these are going to go everywhere. Put those in there. You want enough that it shakes around good, but not too much that you can't see stuff. Okay. I think that's good. Yeah, plenty of room. Okay. Anything that doesn't get back into the bucket gets added to the pot. Okay. Now, again, make sure that your glue is coming out. Alright, glue coming out. And we're using the liquid glass because we're going over that acetate, and make sure that we're nice and covered, that way none of our little stars come out. Okay. Oh, gotta burp that again. Take off that little bit of yuck. Where's my piercing tool? If you don't do this, it'll get clogged, and then you have to stick something down there, and it's just kind of a, there we go, kind of a pain. You want it to be ready when you're ready. Alright, here we go. Oh, I probably should have glued that all the way down, because otherwise it's going to get caught. I wonder how that's going to be. I'll try it. I'm not sure. This is a work in progress, so we'll see. I might get a bunch of stars underneath there. Wiped off my window plastic. And here goes nothing. Try not to hit anything on your way down. Okay, we'll give that a second. Now what I would probably do is go get me some candy apple red and put the little tag cover in candy apple red, and I will do that and add it to the pictures. When we are done, and look at that. Isn't that pretty? So for now, we've got 1, 2, 3, and this will be the surprise one with stamps that you can purchase. Okay, so I'll finish up this one. And 1, 2, 3, or the bonus. Hope you had a great time. I hope you'll try this. It's a lot of fun. There's more things that you can do. Janice actually put this together on here, and she put some liquid glass like all in this hollow here. Actually, she did it this way. So she put liquid glass all in here, little big puddles. And then she took the seed and beads, the little white ones, and she poured it in, so it kind of stacked up and made like a little snowdrift. Now I don't think there's any reason, and then the other one that she did, she just filled in this with liquid glass and just pushed her sequins in, so then she didn't have to have the top window. She just left it that way. I mean, you could put it down, but you don't have to. And then I was thinking that we could use some of our foam paste, or not foam paste, but our paste, and just put paste down in there, and that would look like snow, you know, on the window panes. So that's it for today. I hope you had some fun. I used candy apple and evergreen on this one. Could have went back and colored in the trees, but I kind of like them that way. Have fun, everybody. Have a great weekend. I will see you again next Friday, if not sooner. Bye, guys.